10 powerful principles that made Marcus Aurelius a legendary Stoic. What if I told you that everything you fear, every challenge you struggle with, and every emotional storm that shakes your soul could be mastered, not by changing the world around you, but by changing how you think? Imagine this: you wake up tomorrow and everything goes wrong. You spill coffee on your shirt. Someone cuts you off in traffic. Your boss humiliates you in front of your colleagues. Your investments tank. And then, as you get home, a friend you deeply trust betrays you. How do you react? Most people would spiral into anger, stress, or self-pity. But a Stoic, especially Marcus Aurelius, would face the same day and remain calm, collected, and even grateful. He wouldn't be a victim of external events. He would be in control. And this is why we are here. Today, we're diving into 10 powerful principles that made Marcus Aurelius a legendary Stoic. Principles that, if you truly apply them, can make you unshakable in the face of life's worst storms. And trust me, this is not just philosophy. It's a battle-tested way of living. You ready? Let's begin. The first principle is control what you can. Accept what you cannot. Marcus Aurelius wrote in Meditations, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Think about how much of our suffering comes from trying to control things we never had power over in the first place. We rage at the weather. We stress over what people think of us. We try to force outcomes in relationships, business, or politics that are simply not in our control. But Marcus knew that the only thing we ever truly own is our mind, our choices, and our attitude. Everything else, that belongs to fate. So, ask yourself, how much energy have you wasted on things you can't control? And what would happen if you redirected all that energy into what you can control: your discipline, your mindset, your actions? A Stoic doesn't fight reality. He adapts to it. The second principle is obstacles are the way. Most people see problems as roadblocks. A Stoic sees them as stepping stones. Marcus Aurelius understood this deeply. The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. This is a total paradigm shift. Instead of being paralyzed by challenges, the Stoic uses them. You fail? Good. You just learned something valuable. You lose money? Now you understand financial discipline better. Someone insults you? Now you get to practice patience. Every hardship is a hidden lesson. Every setback is an invitation to grow stronger. But here's a question. When was the last time you saw a problem as an opportunity instead of a crisis? Think of your biggest failure. What if that failure was actually your greatest teacher? The third principle is memento mori. Remember, you will die. Most people live as if they are immortal, postponing happiness, avoiding risks, and assuming there will always be time. But Marcus Aurelius reflected on death constantly, not to be morbid, but to live fully. He wrote, "You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do, say, and think." Imagine if you only had 1 year left to live. Would you waste time on petty arguments? Would you delay chasing your dreams? Would you let fear hold you back? The truth is, you will die. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but eventually. The Stoic doesn't run from this fact, he embraces it. Because knowing that time is short gives you clarity. It makes you focus on what truly matters. So let me ask you, if you had just 24 hours left to live, what would you do differently? And why aren't you doing it now? The fourth principle is discipline equals freedom. Modern people think freedom means doing whatever you want. But Marcus Aurelius knew that real freedom comes from self-control. He lived as the most powerful man in the world. Yet he disciplined himself like a soldier. He rose before dawn, practiced restraint, and wrote his deepest thoughts in Meditations. Why? Because he understood that a man ruled by impulses is a slave, whether to lust, greed, laziness, or ego. But a man who masters himself is untouchable. Think of an athlete who wakes up early to train, or an entrepreneur who grinds for years to build something great. They sacrifice in the short term, but in the long term, they gain more control over their lives than anyone else. Where in your life do you lack discipline? And what would change if you took full control of yourself? The fifth principle is ego is the enemy. Marcus Aurelius was the emperor of Rome. He could have let power corrupt him, but instead, he constantly reminded himself to stay humble. He wrote, "When you arise in the morning, think of what a privilege it is to be alive, to breathe, to think, to enjoy, to love." Most people let ego blind them. They crave validation, status, or revenge. But the Stoic understands that ego is a trap. It makes you fragile. It makes you take things personally. It makes you waste energy on proving yourself instead of improving yourself. True confidence doesn't come from being above others. It comes from knowing you don't need to be. So, do you control your ego? Or does your ego control you? That's just the beginning. These first 5 principles alone can make you mentally stronger than 99% of people. But we're only halfway there. The next 5 principles will take things even deeper, showing you how to face criticism, master your emotions, and develop an unbreakable mindset. The mind of a Stoic, how to build unbreakable mental strength like Marcus Aurelius. Imagine you're standing in a Roman battlefield. The sky is dark. The wind howls like a beast. Before you, the enemy stands larger in numbers, stronger in weapons. The odds are against you. Now, you have 2 choices. You can panic, surrender, and let fear consume you. Or, you can stand tall, breathe deeply, and realize that no matter what happens next, you are in control of yourself. This is the essence of Stoicism. And Marcus Aurelius? He lived this reality every single day, not just on the battlefield, but in his mind. In this part, we dive into the next 5 powerful principles that made him legendary. If you master them, you will become unshakable, able to face criticism, emotional turmoil, and even tragedy without losing yourself. The 6th principle is your opinion shapes your suffering. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself but to your estimate of it. And you have the power to revoke that at any moment." Think about that. Most people believe their suffering comes from events, losing a job, a breakup, public humiliation, failure. But Stoicism teaches us that pain doesn't come from what happens to us. It comes from how we interpret it. 2 people can experience the same loss, yet one is crushed while the other becomes stronger. The difference? Their perspective. So here's the challenge. The next time something bad happens, ask yourself, is this really bad? Or is it just my interpretation? What if this moment is actually training you? What if it's a blessing in disguise? The 7th principle is people's opinions don't matter. Here's a harsh truth. No one is thinking about you as much as you think they are. We spend so much of our lives worrying about what others think. We hesitate. We self-censor. We let fear of judgment paralyze us. But Marcus Aurelius saw through this illusion. He wrote, "It never ceases to amaze me. We all love ourselves more than other people, but care more about their opinions than our own. If you live for approval, you'll die from rejection. The people you're afraid of, one day, they'll be gone. Their opinions will fade, and so will yours. So the next time you catch yourself hesitating because of what others might think, stop. Ask yourself, will this matter in a year? In 10? What if you lived only by your own values, not by the opinions of strangers?" The 8th principle is emotion is a choice. Here's a radical idea. No one can make you feel anything without your permission. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Choose not to be harmed, and you won't feel harmed. Don't feel harmed, and you haven't been." Think of a time someone insulted you. You probably felt anger, embarrassment, or hurt. But why? Because you allowed it to matter. Now imagine a powerful Stoic. Someone insults him. Does he react? No, he observes. He remains calm, because he knows his emotions belong to him, not to others. We think emotions happen to us, but the truth is, we generate them. So ask yourself, How much of your emotional pain comes from your own mental habits? And what if you could train yourself to feel only what serves you? The ninth principle is live as if today were your last. Marcus Aurelius constantly reminded himself, you could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do, say, and think. We think we have time. We put off dreams, forgiveness, love. We waste hours on distractions. But what if today was all we had? Would you still scroll endlessly? Would you still hold grudges? Would you still be afraid to take risks? The Stoic doesn't fear death. He uses it as fuel. Try this every morning. Tell yourself, this could be my last day. Then act accordingly. See how much clarity it gives you. The 10th principle is adversity reveals your true self. The final test of a Stoic is not in words, but in action. Marcus Aurelius ruled an empire during war, plague, betrayal. He suffered personal loss, immense responsibility, and the weight of an entire civilization on his shoulders. Did he break? No. He became stronger. He wrote, "You shouldn't give circumstances the power to rouse anger, for they don't care at all. Your struggles? They are not here to destroy you. They are here to reveal you." So I leave you with a question. Who are you when things go wrong? That is the real you, and that is where Stoicism is tested. And now, you have the 10 principles that made Marcus Aurelius a legendary Stoic. But here's the final test. Will you actually live by them? Because Stoicism isn't about words, it's about action. The Stoic Mastery Blueprint. How to apply Marcus Aurelius' wisdom to your own life. You now have 10 powerful Stoic principles that can make you unshakable. But here's the hard truth. Knowing them is not enough. Wisdom that stays in the mind is useless. It must be lived, breathed, and forged through action. Marcus Aurelius didn't become a legendary Stoic by reading philosophy. He became one by practicing it every single day, writing in meditations, and testing his principles in the real world. And now, it's your turn. This is the Stoic Mastery Blueprint, a practical guide to actually applying Marcus Aurelius' wisdom to your life. If you truly commit to this, you will develop the mindset of an emperor, calm, fearless, and unstoppable. The first step, start every morning like a Stoic. Most people wake up and immediately check their phones. They react to notifications, emails, and news. Their minds are already under siege. A Stoic does the opposite. Marcus Aurelius started his day with reflection. He reminded himself of 3 things. Expect difficulty. Every day, you will face people who are foolish, selfish, and rude. Accept it in advance, and they won't surprise you. Remember what matters. You are not here to impress people or chase fame. You are here to live with virtue. Control what you can. Whatever happens today, your mind is always under your control. Try this tomorrow morning. Before you touch your phone, take 5 minutes to reflect on these ideas. See how it changes your mindset. The second step, train your mind to see obstacles as fuel. Marcus Aurelius had one of the most powerful mindsets ever written. The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. This means every problem is a lesson in disguise. Next time something frustrates you, traffic, delays, criticism, pause. Instead of reacting, ask yourself, small blue diamond, what can I learn from this? Small blue diamond, how is this making me stronger? Small blue diamond, what if this is happening for me, not to me? The more you do this, the more challenges stop being problems, they become your training ground. The third step, eliminate emotional waste. One of the biggest killers of mental strength, wasted emotions. Most people spend hours complaining, overthinking, and worrying about things they can't control. Marcus Aurelius had a cure for this. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. So here's an exercise. Every time you catch yourself wasting energy on something you can't control, stop. Small blue diamond, angry about the past? You can't change it. Small blue diamonds stressed about other people's opinions? Their thoughts are theirs, not yours. Small blue diamond anxious about the future? The only thing that exists is this moment. Write down your biggest sources of stress right now. Then ask yourself, which of these are truly in my control? And if they're not, let them go. The fourth step, practice voluntary hardship. Marcus Aurelius didn't just prepare for war physically. He prepared mentally by training himself to be comfortable with discomfort. He would sleep on the floor, eat simple food, and go without luxuries, not because he had to, but because he wanted to train his mind to be tough. This is a lost skill today. We live in comfort, yet we still complain. We have infinite distractions, yet we still feel empty. A Stoic reverses this. Try this. Small blue diamond take cold showers. Small blue diamond fast for a day. Small blue diamond sleep on the floor. Small blue diamond walk in the rain without an umbrella. Small blue diamond do something difficult just for the sake of training your mind. The more you voluntarily embrace discomfort, the less life can shake you. The fifth step, reflect before bed. At the end of each day, Marcus Aurelius practiced self-examination. He asked himself, small blue diamond, did I live with wisdom today? Small blue diamond, did I react emotionally when I didn't need to? Small blue diamond, did I use my time well? The purpose wasn't to feel guilt, it was to improve. This is how you become better. One day at a time. Before bed, write down one lesson from the day. Do this every night, and you will grow faster than 99% of people. The Stoics' final test. Will you live this? Now, you stand at a crossroads. You've just learned everything you need to master Stoicism. But most people will watch this, feel inspired, and then go back to their old ways. Don't let that be you. If you commit to these principles, you will develop a mind stronger than steel. Nothing will break you. Nothing will shake you. You will be in control of yourself no matter what happens. And that is the ultimate power. So ask yourself one last question. Will you just think about Stoicism, or will you actually live it?